welcome to episode 7. Oh my goodness, we've done 7 weeks of this. Of Walked Into a Bar, the show where us three Carlson brothers chat at you. We're all three professionals, and so it sounds like a bad joke, and that's where the name came from. And so we're going to go ahead and get started with some things. Want to check with my brothers and see how their weeks went. Hey, Matt, pay attention.
I'm trying to. I've got a little boy here.
Oh, stop focusing on your family and pay attention to your brothers.
No!
Pay attention to your real family, the ones that were with you when you were born.
Oh, man. Matt.
Except I wasn't.
All right,
Matt,
what's up?
I heard you had a computer problem today.
A computer problem. Well, I had a computer problem, yeah. I bought a new computer for my children, and it decided to crash my modem, my Cox modem.
So, wait, whose modem?
Cox. C-O-X.
Cox. Is that
Cox
your
Cable
internet?
Company?
Cox Communications.
Cox Communication. I heard they're James May's favorite communications company.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If they're James May's favorite internet company, then who's the short guy on that show again?
Richard Hammond?
Hammond.
The hamster.
Then Mediacom is obviously his because it crashes all the time.
Oh!
Just saying. Just saying.
Nice. Mid-Continent is definitely Jeremy Clarkson's then because it's got the power.
No, that
No,
would be
not really.
Southwest Minnesota Broadband.
Well, it
A
wouldn't be.
local
Those all sound communist.
It would all be. It would be Mid-Continent when my friend Chancey's working because
Yeah, that's
he
true.
does good things with them. Anyway, good news. There's a new Dacia Sandero.
Oh, really? Tell us about it.
No, there's not. There's not. Well, guys, we're glad you're joining us. We hope you enjoy this. We hope you have fun with us. And we're going to jump right into things here. Who am I throwing it off to? Am I throwing it off to Ben for the movie?
Yeah, so the movie. Drum roll, please. I'll do my one. Okay. I picked the movie Ready Player One. We're supposed to be picking movies for our profession, but let's face it, who wants to watch a pastor preach? Just follow me on Sunday mornings. Christ New Covenant, Open Bible Church. I'm just kidding.
There you go.
No, but Ready Player One. It's a great movie. It tunes into my nerd side. It tunes into my nostalgic side, probably more so than my nerd side.
Yeah.
It's a great movie overall. My perspective on it, I mean, in one scene, I found Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and like 5 other, old school video games or movies, or the song could bring you back to the 1980s, late 80s, early 90s. And so it's just packed full of all this nostalgia. The storyline, I'm not going to lie, I think the story could use a little help, but not much. It was really good.
It's interesting.
But I think for all the visual effects and all the nostalgia and where it'll bring you back to for that memory, I think it's a very worthwhile watch. I still really enjoyed the story. I don't think it's the best story out there, and that's why I said that. I thought the acting was actually really good. I just, overall, it's a 9 out of 10 for me.
And you see, I thought the story was pretty good as a gamer.
Yeah.
Easter eggs in the games, finding eggs, taking some of those historic Easter eggs and building them in.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, this book was written quite a while ago. And so some of the Easter eggs are a little dated, but definitely a good movie overall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I hate to do this, but I have to agree with you guys.
Yeah, you do.
Stop the
Yeah,
presses.
I know, right?
I know how to pick a good movie. That's what.
I rented it this weekend and watched it, and the first thing I noticed was that it didn't have nearly as good a review as The Matrix.
That's too bad.
Didn't make nearly as much money as The Matrix.
It's way
Matrix is
better.
a much better movie.
No.
That being said, I really enjoyed the plot line. I really enjoyed the character development.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really enjoyed the nostalgia. Seeing the DeLorean, seeing
Bigfoot,
the
the
Iron Man
Batmobiles
stuff, the Batmobiles. The music was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I really, really enjoyed all of that. The video game play, of course, for me, not being a video game guy, doesn't really do much for me until they got into some of the old school stuff that I thought was really pretty cool. But generally speaking, I really enjoyed it for the story. I really enjoyed it for the plot. If I remember correctly, this is a Steven Spielberg movie.
Yep.
So I shouldn't be surprised. But, you throw video games into anything, and with me, it's kind of like so I was pleasantly surprised that I did enjoy it. It was a good movie.
What did your kids think about it?
So Luke wasn't home to watch it. I'm trying to remember if Nathan watched all of it or not, because, he's the cool teenager. He can't hang out and watch a movie with dad. The parts that he did watch, he enjoyed. So,
yeah.
So I didn't realize that this book was actually so this is based on a book, and the book was actually published in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was older than that. And as a software developer, there are a few problems that I have in this, and that's the IOIs.
Okay.
To me, that looks like 101, which is binary.
Yeah, it does.
5.
It does look like 101. I had problems with that.
And they call them the Sixers, and the whole software developer side of me, that all clashed. And watching it this morning, it definitely, I understood that why they call them the Sixers, and I don't know.
So explain why they call them the Sixers.
Yeah, because I didn't quite catch that.
Oh boy, you guys would ask me that. I didn't take notes on that.
Because my thought on that is that they call them the Sixers because the CEO of the company is the Fiver.
No, they call them Sixers because they were numbers, and all of the numbers for their players, it's no names, it's just numbers,
right.
And all the numbers start with 6.
Okay, okay, that makes sense.
Very cool. Very cool.
One of the things I didn't like.
The Ninja Turtles were new, not old.
I didn't see any Ninja Turtles.
What? They're in the fight scene. Are you
I
kidding me?
Completely. There was so much going on in the fight scenes, I couldn't tell.
I'm pretty sure Duke from G.I. Joe is in it.
Yeah.
Pretty
well,
sure.
I remember when we were discussing what to do for this week, then you said that you have, every time you watch it, you see something new.
Yeah.
And I can totally see how you do that.
Yeah.
One of the things that I thought was a little odd was the chief bad guy's little chair suit thing. It doesn't allow for full freedom of movement.
Well, but here's the thing: is that
but he's completely able to move, just like his minions are able to move. But their suit things allow for full freedom of movement.
Well,
so there's a little bit of a disconnect there.
On his chair, he's got finger inputs.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that those chairs,
mm-hmm.
they actually make something smaller for video game boutiques or whatever.
Sure. But this is a virtual reality type simulation. He's in the full suit, so he can feel all the pain and everything.
But he's not walking around.
But he's not walking around like everybody else is.
Because he's a business guy and he needs to relax.
But why would he use the finger things when that's so much more complex for somebody than just walking around? I mean, that's one of the things about this whole VR world they put him in.
Yeah.
It should be easy. It should be, it should be natural. It should be something that you do intuitively. But here he's in this chair that limits his freedom of motion.
Here's my question.
Just a little nag.
What looks more throne-like?
Oh yeah, no, I'll give you that. It does look more throne-like. There's absolutely no doubt that the sinister bad guy should be in this big evil throne.
Yeah,
I absolutely give you that. But it is a little bit of a disconnect from the world they're in. A little bit of a plot hole that made me, as a detail-oriented person, go.
It's not a plot hole because he is literally trying to take over the entire world, and he's trying to sit on top of it. If you remember, he was 2 floors up, and he's sitting on top of this building, controlling everything from his throne. Look at me.
Yeah,
so it's totally not a plot hole. In fact, I think it adds more to the villain and to the idea of he is like Pinky in the Brain. What do we do today, Brain? Well, what do we do every day?
Like Pinky in the Brain, in that he completely misses the obvious reasons why his plot won't work. Like
exactly.
his chair doesn't offer full range of motion.
Exactly.
By the way, Pinky in the Brain, Best cartoon series of the 90s.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Animaniacs.
A very close second.
Oh, didn't they all play
Although
together?
it didn't. Pinky and the Brain spawned out of Animaniacs, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I think so.
But I think Animaniacs was very good. But
So I have a question before we move on from here. What was your favorite nostalgic scene, or what was your favorite nostalgic item? Or can you even pick?
it's tough to pick. I think if somebody put a gun to my head, I'd have to say the DeLorean.
Okay.
Because I'm a big fan of Back to the Future. And in fact, after I watched Ready Player One,
You watch Back to the Future.
I watched Ready Player One Saturday night. Friday night. Saturday, I was surfing through Netflix and found that they have all three of the Back to the Future movies on Netflix now, which is a change.
No.
They just had the third one before. Now they've got all three, and so I did sit down and watch almost all of the first Back to the Future movie.
Wow.
So,
Okay, so Back to the Future, Matt. What do you think? As you throw food down your throat.
I'm thinking probably the. So I've actually seen the movie that he has that suit made out of. Bonsai something or other.
oh,
Yeah,
that
Bonsai.
suit. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
I forget the name of the movie, but I really like that aspect of the show.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And where he's going through the different outfits from our childhood.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson's Thriller outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does the
Yep.
whole.
Yeah. Or should I go with Thriller?
Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
The first time I watched it, I was sitting there. Don't do it, man. Don't go with that one. That one's
He
so
did it.
tacky. Do anything else.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. It didn't look right. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
I love.
I'm trying to sell my Jack on Facebook Marketplace, and somebody's interested.
Mute yourself next time you want to say something that stupid. I'm just kidding. I hope you
Ben.
enjoyed all of that. Hey, that the movie is
You
so
jerk.
big. I wanted someone to go with the music for the nostalgia, but no one did. So music for me is probably the biggest point and the biggest nostalgic.
that's good.
I mean, I wanted to watch Iron Eagle. I wanted to watch
Yes.
Top Gun. I wanted to watch, just based off the music. The other scene that I thought was very nostalgic for me was the Mortal Kombat alien scene.
Mortal
He dresses
Kombat
up.
Aliens?
I forget his name. The 4-armed guy. Whoa.
Oh yeah.
He comes and drags him away, and then out of the chest, freaks
So it was
him out.
kind of a mashup between the two. That was pretty good.
Yeah. And so I wanted to go play Mortal Kombat 3, and I wanted to play or 2, and I wanted to go watch me some aliens, even though I don't really care for aliens too much. I know
things I have never done.
Right.
Play Mortal Kombat
And watch aliens.
or watch Aliens.
Yeah, I've never
done
gotten
either one.
I'm not a big horror film fan, and aliens to me seems like horror, so I'm not.
Yeah, but I have seen Spaceballs, which is just as good as seeing Alien for that particular scene.
It's better.
Right.
I mean, talking about movies that take part or that are have a nostalgic leak to this movie, The Shining. I've not seen that one.
No, I haven't either.
I stayed in Estes Park for my honeymoon, and so of course Lola and I are like, "Ooh, The Shining was, King stayed the night in the Stanley Motel, and that's where The Shining got its birth, was the Stanley Hotel." And so Lola and I went on our honeymoon to do a ghost tour and ghost stories at the Stanley, and so the hotel in the movie is actually in Europe. It is not the Stanley Hotel. It's not the original hotel where it was thought of and it was created from Stephen King. So, however, Dumb and Dumber filmed the bar scene in the Stanley Hotel. And there's a story that Jim Carrey got so scared, ran out of his room and would not go back and stay in the Stanley because of something. So...
Right.
Interesting small little facts.
You see, he's Canadian.
Oh yeah, I know. I said Jim Carrey, right?
He was probably frightened by the Americanness of it. Too many bald eagles.
Too many bald eagles.
Well, he ran outside though, and the bald eagles are all outside, so that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but
But if they were stuffed and mounted,
right?
Freedom, I think he's just crazy.
There's that too.
And he was too caught up in his room, and he was like starting to see things instead of actually seeing things.
Probably.
Yeah. So he ran out. But interesting facts.
Sorry.
That makes two of us yawning so far. It's still early where Matt lives, so it's like what 5 o'clock. 5:48, 49.
5:48.
So, that's awesome, and I do love the Shining stuff. I think that's awesome. What was my favorite part of the Shining thing? Just them going into the Shining. That was their date. I think that was great. So, good pick, Matt. You're pretty awesome. Hey, from here we want to go into from a video game movie. We want to talk about video games of our time, what we like. We've picked certain ones out. Matt, why don't you hold off, and Phil, why don't you start on Atari for us?
Dude,
I saw Matt's mouth was full again.
Matt's eating on camera.
Again.
Hey, you can't prove it. Maybe I'm chewing gum, and I'm just really going to town on the gum.
If you just throw extra gum in every now and then.
Yeah, if you chew gum like that,
yeah, cow.
Our mother didn't teach you anything. So video games.
Mm-hmm.
I've said it before on this show, and I'll say it again. I'm not a video gamer. I don't do video games. I don't play video games. I've done some flight sims from time to time in my unrealistic passion of thinking and pretending like I could have been a fighter pilot. But I don't do video games. But there was a time. There was a time when Phil played video games. Long ago. That time was the 80s, and that video game console was the Atari 2600.
Mm. You played a little Nintendo Top Gun.
But I didn't enjoy it like I did the Atari 2600. We had an Atari 2600 before we had a Nintendo. We got it secondhand, I think, from our cousins, Zach and Aaron, their family.
Oh, really?
From Uncle Daryl and Aunt Beth, as I recall. I could be wrong about that, but I know we got it secondhand, and by the time we got it, the Nintendo, the NES had come out, and that was all the rage. And we had friends who had them, but we didn't have one. But we did have the 2600, and we had some of the old classic video games. My favorite, no surprise to anybody who knows me, was Combat. Because you could pick different things to do. You could drive a tank, you could fly a plane, you could do all sorts of things. Go around and shoot things and blow them up in these horrible graphics. Anyway, the Atari 2600 was my console. That was the one I enjoyed. I loved the tactile feel of the cartridge. I loved the fact that it had toggle switches that you could turn on and off. I loved the fact that it had a joystick controller. I absolutely abhor these stupid button controllers, A, B, X, Y. No, it doesn't work for me. I can't do it. The joystick controller that the Atari 2600 had was where it's at. If I ever go to an arcade, not that I ever do, but if I ever do, I gravitate towards games that have joysticks because I want to be a fighter pilot.
Do you realize that every game system right now, every console system right now has joysticks on their controllers?
No, it's not a joystick. That's some
No,
little thumb
not
pad
a
thing.
thumbstick.
It's not the same thing.
My joystick comes with thumbsticks. Seriously, my HOTAS, which is
they're all a type of joystick.
HOTAS,
they're all a type of.
No, it's not the same thing. You're wrong.
It is.
You're
absolutely wrong.
I'm gonna throw you in the Missouri when you come up here, and you can go catfishing with your arms.
You can't catch me.
My car is faster than yours.
Your car doesn't even work.
Shut up.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Whose car is faster than whose?
My wife's car will roll over your truck.
The back of it, maybe.
I didn't say what part. I said it will.
I can still run.
Phil has the largest and the fastest cars. Ben, your argument is null and void.
No,
I don't
only
care.
when they're working.
Yeah, it is working. Okay, the fast one's not, but I can get it. And let's not forget the bull bar I have on front of my
Hold on a
SUV.
second. How fast did your BMW go?
It is aerodynamically limited to 140.
Okay, so I've had my car up pretty high, the Accord, and
You're not bringing the Accord up here, though.
not this time. No. So
Point being, joysticks are better than number pads.
no.
They are. It's
Matt,
an undeniable fact.
Matt, we'll get back to the joystick conversation later.
I
Matt,
got your number. Your number.
So Matt's going to talk to us about.
Wait, you just cutting me off?
Yes, we are. I figured you were done with Atari.
Phil,
I
do you
was,
have...
but still. One more thing.
Okay.
Two more things.
Oh no.
Pong.
The
Pac-Man.
That was sweet. The
And
Pong
Pac-Man.
pad
Yep.
was sweet.
Which
And-
I don't think we had, if I remember right.
We did. No, we had two of them.
Did we?
Yeah, we
They
had-
didn't work. There was some.
I
there
don't
was some
think
reason
they
why
worked.
we didn't have Pong. That's what it was.
Yeah, we didn't have Pong.
We didn't have the cartridge, but Pong was good. But the second one was better. Pac-Man. All arguments are over.
You can't fight Pac-Man because
You can't.
He's
Pac-Man
still
is
around.
the ultimate video game.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
so,
up for debate.
No. Look, where did other video games come from? I don't care if it's a first-player shooter. I don't care if it's Super Mario Brothers.
Came from Super Mario Brothers.
They came from Pac-Man.
You don't know that.
Okay, so hands down, Pac-Man is the foundation of video games.
You don't know that.
I'm pretty sure as a software engineer, computer engineer, he does know that. Actually, I think that's kind of one of the things he does.
No, he doesn't know.
As a software engineer and as a video game, I'm not going to use the word
Nut
aficionado,
job, video game
but
nut job.
Nut job works.
Yes, nut job.
It doesn't quite have the same, deep background and understanding of all the different.
Yes, it does.
Parts and pieces.
It does. It does.
What is
Much
it
like I'm
10...
a model building nut job, you are a video game nut job.
So this is like several 10 steps above aficionado.
It's above nerd and geek, even, I think.
Oh.
You know what? Honestly, I think Pong was actually the foundation to all video games, by the way. Pong is the atom.
Asteroid.
Pong is the atom.
Asteroid.
Pong, let me finish.
No,
Asteroid did not come out before. The first video game ever was Pong.
Asteroid came out first on. It was a huge database.
It was an arcade game, wasn't it?
Pong is the first game.
It was, sorry, it wasn't Asteroid. It was Star something.
Pong. In October 1958, physicist William Higginbotham created what is thought to be the first video game.
First of all, that you made that name up.
Google it.
I'm not going to Google it. I just know these things. You made that name.
I literally just read it.
I don't care whether you read it or not. You made the name up, and I'm standing on it.
This is internet. This is a guy who doesn't play video games talking to a guy who does play video games.
That's off of APS.org.
So what? It's still
and
online.
APS.org is a physics department, and they're going to claim that the first physicist was.
We can't trust physicists.
Okay, let's go to Wikipedia because they don't lie.
We can't trust physicists, rocket scientists, or computer engineers.
No, we cannot. Especially a software engineer.
Especially not software engineer.
Software engineers that work for rocket scientists.
So those are the worst.
Birdie the Brain was an arcade game of tic-tac-toe built by Joseph Cates for the 1950 Canadian National Exhibit.
Okay, what are the Canadians? No. Edie beady eyes. To all my Canadian friends, I'm sorry, but...
On May 5th, 1951, the Nimrod computer, created by engineering firm and Nascent computer developer Ferrani, was presented at the Festival of Britain, and they played a game of Nim, which is another video game. That's 1951. So all video games we can now say are foundationally Canadian, and Birdie the Brain is the foundation.
Which I've got to say explains why computer games suck so much.
Nope.
Okay. So this is the one that I think is actually what we would call a video game today. It was the first game to include graphics.
Yeah.
First one to allow the player to move, and was programmed by William Brown and Ted Lewis at the University of Michigan for their MID SAC computer.
Okay.
And it was a pool stick controlled by a joystick and a knob.
Cool.
So you played pool on the computer?
15 balls on the table in an overhead view, and you controlled the joystick. Yeah.
Very cool.
Do you remember we used to play pool on? It was the Colt,
Commodore.
wasn't it? Wasn't it the Commodore Colt?
It was
Yeah.
the Commodore 64.
64, but
we didn't have a 64.
it had 64 out in front, but yeah, it was a Commodore Colt 64.
Yeah.
Because it was a 64-bit, wasn't it?
That's no.
It had 64K of RAM.
Oh, is that what it was?
I think that's what it was.
Was it?
I need to go look. I'm talking out of my tailpipe here.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's unimportant to the discussion at hand.
No, this
Anyway,
is. I think this
Atari
has been
is
better
way.
than.
Anyway, Atari is the best. We've established that. The other two viewpoints that are going to be presented here today are just wrong.
Let
and
me
go out and buy yourself an Atari emulator and have fun the rest of your days.
let me cut Phil off because Matt will have a very great fighting argument. I'm even throwing
Matt's
myself.
agreed with me. He's agreed
No.
with me.
No, he
He's
hasn't.
he said it several times. He agrees
So-
with me. You're
So
wrong,
the
Ben.
next statement.
and We're just going
the
to go
next
with it.
statement. The next statement that I'm going to say is going to explain everything about what I'm saying. I agree with Matt in what he's picking because one, PC Master Race. That is literally what in the gaming world they call it. PC Master Race. Better than any console out there. Better than Atari. Better than Nintendo.
There was
than
another guy.
Better than
There was another guy
PlayStation,
in history.
Better than Phil talking right now. He keeps on talking.
There was
I don't know why.
Because there was another guy in history who claimed Master Race status. And
Yeah.
we all know how
No
that
guy.
went.
There's no guy. No
I'm just
singular
saying.
guy saying PC Master Race. This is a
Master
whole
Race,
group of
not
people.
a spot you want to go, people. You
It's-
don't want to go there.
If any gamers watch this, if any of my college friends watch this, Matt, if any of your friends watch this, if Jordan somehow catches this, you know what? Chancey Marshall, if you watch this, will you correct Phil in how we talk about video
Chancey
games?
is going to say that the Linux whatever is the best platform ever, and
You don't even know how to say it right.
whatever. Doesn't matter.
It's time to shh up and let the pro talk. It's Matt's turn.
All right. So PC games. They've been around for as long as consoles have been around.
Longer.
Longer. Well, the Atari came out. PC games, as we were just talking about, were played originally on database servers or not database servers, mainframe servers. There's the word I was looking for. And they have a very rich history of configurability, control, choice. On a PC today, you can go from a steering wheel control, joystick control, mouse and keyboard, combination of them. You even have controllers that look like this they have a little thumbstick. No, Ben, that's not a joystick. That's a thumbstick.
A miniature joystick. Gotcha.
And trackpads like a laptop. And I hate trackpads. This is not bad. And you get a lot of different variability. You have platformers, which are side-scrolling, first-person shooters, role-playing games, strategy games, and then hybrid games. A lot of easy access to independent developers. It's a rich infrastructure, a rich ecosystem for video games, and I'm already putting Phil to sleep. So, PC gaming, it emphasizes on choosing your hardware, choosing your software, choosing your operating system, and you have to be good at managing all of those or have lots of money to back that up as opposed to playing on a console.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Matt, I think you summed up PC Master Race really well.
Blah, 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 blah.
I think in order to
Blah,
have the master
blah,
race
blah,
of video
blah,
gaming,
blah,
you
blah.
have to have a lot of money, and that's what he got to. So
Blah, blah, blah,
that's
blah.
the gist of it.
You gotta have
Well,
wait, hold on. You gotta have a lot of money for a PC game? Are you
No.
kidding me?
No, hold on.
How much does a new console setup cost? And
Hold
all you
on.
can do on it is play a video game.
Okay, stop.
Can I mute him?
My,
yeah, actually,
my
I can.
graphics
Watch
card
this.
that I just purchased,
just
I
muted
just
him.
purchased is more expensive than any of the consoles on the market. And I just bought one for my wife's computer and for my computer. And so consoles are expensive nowadays, but a PC game is extremely expensive in comparison.
If you're looking at the hardware it takes to put into a PC compared to consoles, compared to Atari, compared to old school video games, except for
Yes.
maybe the GameCube. I have a GameCube, and I don't have any video games for it because they are ridiculously priced.
So yeah, you're right about that, obviously.
Mhm.
But that gaming computer can be used for other things.
Yeah, I can do software development on it. My daughter can go and drop her graphics design software on it,
Yeah.
and she can
Video-
do graphics design,
Video editing,
video editing.
audio stuff,
If you're doing
all sorts
anything
of
with your gaming
productive
computer
things.
outside of gaming, you're doing it wrong.
No, that's why
Just kidding.
that's why I video game is because it's more versatile than
Yeah.
a console. Now, the newer console systems are trying to blur that line. They're entertainment systems. They've got
Yeah.
Netflix on them. They've got Amazon on them.
Not
Hulu.
Not even the newer ones are. We have one gaming console in the family. It's a Wii.
It's not even new.
and- yeah, it's not new at all, and you can do those. You can watch Netflix on it and things like that when it's running properly.
When it's
So-
running
and-
properly.
Yeah, and just to make sure that everybody's up to date and aware, as is traditional, my father tries to get a hold of me while we're filming this. He was texting me about the new Jack that I'd sent pictures of earlier.
Well, naturally,
Awesome.
he has
Naturally.
excellent.
We're not
time.
talking about cars. We're not talking about toys. We're not talking about any of that. What we're talking about is video
I
games.
so wish we were.
And so from here on out, it's yours truly talking about consoles because I probably own the most
Lord.
consoles, I think, out of all of us. I have a Sega Genesis. I have and Matt, correct me if
Sega!
I'm wrong. I just acquired a Sega Genesis. This is the second Sega Genesis I've owned. I have a GameCube, I have a Nintendo 64, and I have an Xbox One. Matt, I think you have a PlayStation 2, a PlayStation 4, 3,
No. PlayStation 3.
PlayStation 3,
I have your PlayStation 1,
my PlayStation 1.
my PlayStation 2, my PlayStation 3. We, as a family, have the Wii.
Yeah,
And back in college, the first time around, I
an
bought
Xbox.
Xbox.
Yeah. So I've had the original Xbox, the Xbox 360, a Wii U, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and I currently have a Switch as well. So I'm the console guy. I have played video games. I played Unreal Tournaments. I played lots of video games. That's cool. I'm going to mute him so he has no way to talk to us. He is muted. Just kidding. But I'm the guy. I'm the guy that I just love console games. Why? Because they're cheaper overall. I don't have to update a bunch of stuff. Just every 2 years they come out with a new one. So every 2 years I'm spending $300. I probably won't this time around come December when the PlayStation 5 comes out, but I probably am switching to a PlayStation 5 because the controller, the one reason why I go with Xbox right now is the controller size. Their little controller I don't like. It's not big. It doesn't fill up my hand. It doesn't feel like I'm holding anything, but the new PlayStation 5 controller looks a lot better. Console games have some of your biggest titles out there for nostalgic reasons. Yes, Bill, you said Pac-Man. There's Pac-Man. There's Androids. There's Super Mario Brothers. There's the whole Super Mario Brothers thing. Mario Kart. You have Excite Bike. Duck Hunter.
Duck Hunt's a good game.
Yeah. You have all those games, and then you get into some of these newer consoles like you would have, Matt, if I remember right, you have Twisted Metal. You have some Tony Hawk games. You have, I don't know what else I had on there, but you had a couple games on there. Gran Turismo, which you will say Gran Turismo is one of the best, if not the best, racing game ever.
Okay, you have a point. I have to concede a point that yes, Gran Turismo is the best racing game out there for the balance of arcadiness and racing realism. At the same point,
without going to a full-on simulator.
Without going to a full-on simulator, and I have a couple of those, and I enjoy them. However, the experience is a significantly steeper learning curve and figuring out the controls and whatnot.
But isn't it true that they tried this game out in a full-on simulation mode where you actually got into like what seemed to be a car when they were putting it together originally? I could be wrong on that.
They definitely tried to pitch it, but other simulators have done better on making it realistic. And in fact, during this time, iRacing has become the front runner in hosting online racing events for the big racing groups in the world, and that's the PC gaming scene.
iRacer is also on Xbox.
Is it now?
Yeah, so they offered a free download like the last month I was part of Xbox Gold. I downloaded it. I have it. I don't like it. I like Forza. The Horizons I like a lot better, but Forza is really good.
So what I was going to say before we were so rudely interrupted by the
timestamp
was that I really do enjoy a good flight simulator. I don't have enough time to play them. I got rid of my joystick because I never play them anymore. And so for that, I like what Matt's got.
Yeah. Well,
but also,
this isn't a flight simulator conversation. This is consoles.
There was a time when Xbox was fairly new that this new game came out called Halo.
Mm-hmm.
And I have played a bit of Halo, and I did enjoy it.
Oh, what a coincidence. It has recently been released on the PC as the Halo Chief Master Collection, or Master Chief Collection.
Nice. And since Ben's left, and he's not here to defend the console,
well, it's
for the second time tonight, by the way.
Yeah. It's all been updated and Master.
There he goes.
Yeah.
Got it. Got him.
My problem is
consoles.
I can't justify the expense to buy a console for one game.
No, you can't, and I can't either.
Also, I don't have time to sit at a console and play a game. I don't have time to sit at my computer and play.
If you're talking about original Halo, why do you need to spend the $300 or $200 for an Xbox One when you can just get the original Xbox?
Well, that's what I said is Xbox. I didn't say Xbox.
Right. The original Xbox. No.
Find a controller for the original Xbox that works.
You can find them.
Yeah, you can. You're going to pay a pretty penny for them.
Or you take my solution and say, yeah, it was nice, but I can find other things to do.
You're ridiculous. There's nothing
or
better to do.
Or you get it on your PC and you just play it on your PC.
Yeah, but then I've got to play with a keyboard and a mouse.
So
no, you don't.
The reason I chose consoles, I'm going to interrupt you guys. We are done. I'm going to talk about the reason I chose consoles, because you do have games that are like what Matt loves for racing, Gran Turismo. On the Xbox, I have Forza Horizon 3, which I love. They now have Forza Horizon 4. I haven't gone to that. You do have a game that Phil said he liked, Halo, and this is the complete collection. Not the complete, but it has all the way up to 5, so I'm missing 5. And then you have games like Battlefield or Call of Duty, first-person shooters that I love. There's a game that I'm not showing you, but I do have it. Red Dead Redemption. The best Western video game I have ever played.
A Western video game?
Yeah.
And
you don't look. All I'm saying is you don't need a Western video game if you live in the Old West.
Yeah, but it makes you feel like you live in the 1880s, not having to visit 1880 town. You don't have to pay the
I live-
outrageous.
Oh, I like
price.
the plug there. I like the plug.
Nice
However,
plug. Nice
Cody,
plug.
you better share this. That is your family, buddy.
however, all of those games that you just listed off are all on the PC. Every single one of them now.
Yeah.
Rocket League, another game on all consoles and PC. Again, we don't have $1,000 to spend like Matt does on a PC. We have $300, and so yes, the games all cost the same. They're still
Ladies and
all-
gentlemen, I don't have either of those dollar amounts because I spend them all on fixing my old cars and buying model kits.
P.S. Matt, you don't have all the Halos on PC.
You, sir, are incorrect.
Here we go.
All
Throw
of
down.
the Halos.
Okay.
Throw
Every
down.
one of them.
Here we go.
So the Halo Master Chief Collection.
You don't
was
have Forza
released-
either.
Yes, they are on the
They
Forza
brought that
games.
out.
Yes, it's on the Windows Store. I don't know if it's all of them, but I know 3 and 4 for Horizons is out. And then Forza 7
Yeah.
is on PC. And then Halo Master Chief Collection. Technically, I have Halo Reach and Halo 1 on my PC. I haven't hopped into Master Chief Collection to see if any of the others are out yet, but I'm still playing Halo 1 through again.
Do you have Call of Duty Black Ops 3 on PC?
Let's see here. That is an Activision game. Let's see here. Wait, is that Activision or is that
I don't remember. It's on the Xbox, which is downstairs right
So,
now because Lola's
Call,
gone.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty BO4, Black Ops 4,
Yeah.
and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
That's all you have on PC?
Well, that's all that's on the Blizzard Activision launcher.
Yeah.
What's the game?
Black Ops 3.
And
See,
let me-
some of these games came out specifically for console. And so that's the glory of console.
Yeah, it's
Again-
on PC.
It is on PC?
Yeah, it's on the Steam store.
Okay.
Steam store.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are games that are specific to PlayStation, to Xbox. However, PlayStation has more PlayStation specific games that you cannot get anywhere else. I happen to like all these games that you can play on a computer. However, I prefer a Mac over PC anymore. Why? Because of my profession.
Oh, I feel my blood pressure
So-
coming up.
My profession, I don't want something that I have to fix every 5 weeks or less. More like every 5 days. I want something
No.
that's gonna be reliable.
No. This computer is not a Ford.
And that's what I'm saying. But for what I do, I'm not going to spend $1,000 on a pre-made laptop for Windows. I'm going to spend $1,000 on something that comes with all the software I want. And so that's what I did. So, and the ease of use. It is so nice and so smooth. But back to consoles. I choose consoles because, one, my friends have them. That's a big thing too. I think you have to look at what your friends are playing. Go with what your friends are playing, because if you're not playing with your friends, you're going to have to create new friends online, which that's
what
odd.
These friends that you talk about, and how do you play games with your friends?
Matt, your friends that you play games with. And what do they play?
World of Warcraft.
PC, right?
Yep. Well, they
Right.
play PC and console.
Do they? What consoles do they have? I know one of them.
PS4 and what's the most recent Xbox?
Xbox One. Yeah.
I don't know if they both have Xbox One. I know that they would both like an Xbox One.
If you have Xbox One out there, add me, Carbon, CARBEN. I know it's spelled wrong. It's like my name, Carbon. So it's a cool name, Matt. You're just jealous that you didn't think of
No, what? Carmat.
Carmat. Carmat just killed you. A Carmat just killed you. That's perfect. A Carmat.
Please don't stand on me.
You could do Carmat with 2 T's, Matt. That's
And ladies and
Carmat.
gentlemen, if it looks like I've checked out,
yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway,
it's because I have.
oh Yeah.
Oy
So
vey.
with that, I want to send this over to who is going to take this? Matt.
Sure.
Well, I was supposed to do the intro to this section, but I don't know what I'm doing now.
I'll hold it up for you.
Okay, folks. Well, we get to that portion that everyone likes except for our mother. Hi, Mom. Sorry. We're making you proud.
Mom, Dad, Joyce, Barb. I don't know if Barb cares.
Yeah, we apologize that we haven't lived up to your standards.
Bruce, if you're watching this, I've only had one.
Pack, 1 6-pack is what he means. 1 6-pack.
This, you know what? I held on to this one beer all week so that I could drink it tonight with you guys.
All right. Well, tonight we're doing what I call craft beers. And these are small, these are beers out of small breweries from around the nation. I believe we have the West Coast, Mountain Region, and the Plains represented tonight. I am drinking a beer out of California called 805.
His. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. However, I do have to say that this might be about the only good thing to come out of California.
There are one or two good things that come out of California.
Some movies.
Star Wars.
Movies. Yeah, that came out of California.
LucasArts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This beer. This beer is it's really smooth.
The B-1 bomber came out of California.
Yosemite National Park is in California.
That
There's a few good
didn't
things.
come out of California.
Mickey Mouse
that is in California.
No, that's not. No. Mickey Mouse is not a good thing.
I think that'll be debatable.
So
Sorry. Go ahead and tell us about your beer.
I'm drinking an 805. It's really easy to drink. It comes out of California, and it's an ale with a very low alcohol content.
What is it? Is it very hoppy or is it kind of more smooth?
It's a very smooth flavor.
Very good. Is that a 12-ounce bottle or a little bigger?
I don't know. Yeah, 12 ounce. So
Very good.
I think Phil should go next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Living in the great state of South Dakota, we have a plethora of breweries to choose from. Believe it or not, we have breweries in South Dakota. And what I've got today is called the Queen Bee. This is an Imperial Honey Cream Ale brewed by Remedy Brewing in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And the reference Queen Bee is to the Queen Bee Mill that used to exist on the Big Sioux River near the Big Sioux Falls in what is now downtown Sioux Falls. That mill was called the Queen Bee Mill, and the ruins of it are still there. If you go to Sioux Falls and go to the falls, you can actually see the ruins of the Queen Bee Mill. It is an ale, and as such, it's a little hoppier. It's got an IBU of 20. The ABV is 7.3, so it's a little bit higher alcohol content, but that IBV does make it a little bit hoppier. I'm not generally a fan of very hoppy beers, and to be perfectly honest, this is the first time I've tried this beer. But that's because I forgot we were doing craft beers tonight, and I had to run to the liquor store with about 30 minutes notice to pick something up. Wanted something South Dakota made, and it was between this and two other beers that I knew I didn't really care for. So I grabbed this one. It is pretty good. There is definitely a little bit of a honey taste to it. If you like honey, honey for me, I can take it or leave it sometimes. In this, it's pretty nice. It does kind of even out the hoppy tones a little bit, even out that bitterness a little bit. But all in all, not too bad. A good brew from Remedy Brewing Company in Sioux Falls.
Awesome.
So
I think I've had Remedy.
You said that was a cream?
It's a cream ale. It's a Imperial Honey Cream Ale.
So does it taste really rich or?
It's more complex. I don't know that I'd say it's rich. The cream is the one thing I'm not getting a lot of. The Imperial kind of speaks to the alcohol content and the hoppiness.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting a lot of the creaminess.
Interesting. I kind of want to try it.
It's decent. It's decent. Like I said, it's a little hoppier than I like. I do tend to stick to stouts and porters usually because I'm not a big fan of hoppiness.
Right.
But all in all, it's not bad.
Very cool. Awesome.
All right, Ben, your turn.
All right. So when I moved to Illinois from Colorado, I went through withdrawals.
Uh-huh.
Not real withdrawals. I just realized there
Uh-huh.
are no
Sure,
breweries
Ben.
here
Mhm.
in Illinois, and so and besides that, I signed an agreement with my denomination at the time saying there's no drinking for 2 years or until they change it, and they just changed it 2 Novembers ago now. So,
Yep.
And so now I'm allowed to have a beer, and so I've found a couple breweries, but nothing compares. I've found nothing to take me away from this beer specifically. I would say, without tasting either Matt or Phil's, and just based off what they say, this is going to be by far the best beer. I would recommend this to everybody. Absolutely everybody. And it sounds like Matt would recommend his. Phil, it doesn't sound like you would recommend yours.
Well, but when I make a beer recommendation, it's always based on the person's taste and what they like.
Right. Right. I think I've given this one to Phil. I've told
really
Matt
good.
to go check
It's
it
really
out.
good.
Phil's lactose intolerant, and so he can't drink too many of these because this is a Left Hand Brewing Company milk stout, but it's not just the milk stout. It's on nitro, which makes it very smooth. It's an American stout. That's what it looks like. The cans, it's just a black can. Look for the red Left Hand, the nitro. It's going to be one of the best. It is super creamy. It is smooth. The nitro makes it super smooth. It doesn't leave you with that bitter, hoppy taste that a stout can do. It's an amazing beer. In fact, they normally say, don't drink it out of the bottle. Get a glass. And when you pour it hard, you turn it all the way upside down and let it just pour hard out of there. And it fuses together. You'll watch the nitrogen and the dark beer fuse together. And it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen from a beverage. But it is my go-to.
I hate to do this, people, but I have to agree with Ben. It is one of the best beers I've ever had.
And I mean, there are other beers out there that are good, but if you want to pay $15 for a 2-pack every 5 weeks, I mean, or every week. So, sorry, Phil, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
So, and with that, we must say adios, amigos. It's time to end. I'm so glad that you joined us. I'm so thankful that you made it this far through the video. I hope you had a lot of fun. There was a lot of bickering, a lot of nonsense, and that's what we love. We just want to entertain you. So if you have any ideas of what you want to see, we'd love to try and provide that for you. Maybe there's a movie you want us to review. Give it to us. We'll go review it. Come back next week for another episode of Walk Into a Bar where we're just one big bad joke. Love you guys. Have a great week.